Leadership, flashing with brilliance and excellence.
They shine bright everywhere we go. Music for the people, making music for the people. They shine bright everywhere we go. They shine bright everywhere we go.
Leadership, impacting society with peace, love, and hope.
Everywhere we go. Music for the people, making music for the people.
Welcome to the James A. Hendrick School of Leadership. And now, here's your guest host, JR Hendrick.
Yeah, howdy everybody. Jamie's under the weather this Monday, and plus I wanted to step in. I don't know how many of y'all have heard on True Social that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is defending Maga. Well, I'm thinking if it's good enough for a rogue at Kennedy, it's good enough for a Hendrick. So, we're going to be using a couple of news stories, and we'll get back to it, that kind of help with defense of MAGA. The first one, well, unfortunately, I don't have an audio feed for it. It would have made a good foreign policy story. Yeah, if I don't have a news feed for something, I ain't going to talk about it. I don't find them much as far as good news. Has to deal with what's going on politically. Here's looks like maybe a good story. Now, I don't have the feed on it. But if RFK Jr. can defend MAGA, so can I. And I know I got friends that say, you know, I have to be, some friends say, well, that MAGA stuff is a cult because they're just following whatever Trump says. Let me ask you something. What's wrong with Make America Great Again? Because we ain't as great as we used to be. Here's one that sounds good. Blood money. How China is killing Americans by influence with these DC politicians. If this story don't defend MAGA, I don't know what does.
We've seen many examples of the danger China poses from cybersecurity hacks to the fentanyl crisis. In his book, Blood Money, Why the Powerful Turn a Blind Eye While China Kills Americans, author Peter Schweizer makes the argument that the communist leadership is at war with America, sowing chaos and death without firing a shot.
China has a strategy, they call it disintegration warfare, that says, look, we don't want to have a kinetic fighting war with the United States because that would lead to all kinds of disruption and damage in China. So we're going to try to beat them by not going to war, but by undermining them nonetheless.
Schweizer sees the Chinese Communist Party employing the tactics of ancient military strategist Sun Tzu. In The Art of War, he teaches an enemy can be defeated without having to fight.
They're doing this by sowing social chaos in the United States. They're literally killing Americans with fentanyl. The Mexican cartels are the junior partners. This is a Chinese operation. And they are engaging in other activities that are designed to tear America apart, and it seems to be working.
As fentanyl has continued to pour across the U.S. southern border, the CDC reports that in 2023 alone, the drug led to the deaths of more than 112,000 Americans. Schweizer writes that this ongoing crisis can only continue through political corruption. He claims to have found a link between gang leader Zhang Anli, also known as White Wolf, and the Biden family.
White Wolf has a business partner who gave the Bidens in 2017 a $5 million forgivable loan that the Bidens have never repaid. So you literally have 1 degree of separation between the first family of the United States and this poisonous fentanyl trade.
Schweizer believes this could be a reason why President Biden has not been more aggressive in confronting China on the fentanyl issue.
Okay.
We need to remember that the bribery and corruption statutes in the United States say even if the actual politician doesn't get a dime, if his family member profits, that in and of itself is corruption.
Schweizer alleges China has financial ties with members of both major political parties in the United States, including outgoing Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell.
Stop the tape. Now, if that don't explain why we don't need Maga, I don't know what the hell does. I agree with the underground country singer Buddy Brown when he came up with a song last year that's called "We Can't Afford No Shoes, No Shirt, and No Biden." Alright? We Americans, we gotta start waking up. Alright? The economy's crashed, the world's going to hell. And I'm not lying that we need MAGA. We need MAGA. But yet some people are just willing to believe and drink Kool-Aid, but propaganda of mainstream media. Well, I'm sorry. No drinking that Kool-Aid here. I'd much rather drink me a nice cold glass of can of root beer. I'm just telling you what I see. But it's like the economy's crashed, the world's going to hell. What's Biden doing? He's sitting there in the basement. And he's dropped out of the race, and the Democrats drinking the Kool-Aid thing. Well, we got joy with Kamala. Ain't they no better than some of the other conventions they've had? 68 with Hubert Humphrey when they lost. Kumbaya. There was still no party loyalty. 96. Kumbaya. Party loyalty. But that's because Clinton basically said to hell with his base and started going mainstream. Even then still. Here's a story that might be worth our time. It says Kamala Harris's big speech. I promise to be a president for all Americans. I want you to listen to this, and I'll stop the tape when I feel like I need to interject something here. Listen. Okay, let me pause this. All right. We're going to go ahead and get to this speech. I'll stop the tape when I think it's time.
In the biggest speech of her life, Vice President Kamala Harris laid out her vision for the country last night at the Democratic National Convention. She also promised to be a president for all Americans.
Harris outlined what she called an opportunity economy. Critics say she fell short on specific proposals. CBN chief political analyst David Brody has the story.
With Joe Biden pushed to the sidelines, Kamala Harris had the stage all to herself. Since becoming the nominee, she has energized Democrats. Last night, she took the opportunity to reach beyond her own party.
There are people of various political views watching tonight, and I want you to know I promise to be a president for all Americans. You can always trust me to put country above party and self.
Despite being vice president for 3.5 years, her narrative hasn't been fully cemented. 1/3 of voters don't really know much about what she stands for. In her mission to define...
Excuse me, don't know what the Daffy stand for? How about what happened with the border? 2021. Joe Biden puts Kamala in charge of the border. She's supposed to get people to work in order to do something about it. She does nothing. Oh, I intend to be the president for all America. Not really. With price caps. Let me tell you something. I'm a proud biblical Maga conservative. And how many of you are that way? When I was a kid, I cut my teeth listening to Hank Williams Sr., Merle Haggard. When I went away to college, I cut my teeth on the likes of DC Talk, and Stephen Curtis Chapman. But what we have here under Biden-Harris is nothing short than wholesale favoring with China. President for all America, more like the president of the People's Republic of America with a K if we don't start fighting for our rights, and us men starting to man up. Let me tell you something. I think Let's Go Brandon should be more than just about Joe Biden. It should be getting rid of the Democratic Party. Getting them out of power. And why is that? Because they no longer represent mainstream America. Why is that? Class of 68 values. And some people get mad because people like me are MAGA. But hell, it's time for a counterculture. I was born back in the 90s. Among my generation. But we weren't up to it. Well, damn it, I think that it's time that we be proud MAGA conservatives that are willing to stand for it. Praising God for Christopher Columbus. People say he pillaged and was mean to those American Indians. Not according to the textbook I read in Christian schools. Columbus, he rewrote the book on how the Spaniards did it, and mandated that they coexist with the Native Americans. But they don't teach that to y'all nowadays. Let's be proud, Maga. Let me tell you something. Trump wasn't the only one that said that. Reagan said it back in the 80s. I can't see why we can't bring it back. And some people say, well, Reagan would have never envisioned this. Let me ask you this. Have we not have the worst president since Jimmy Carter? Now, I'm not going to apologize for being pro-MAGA. Do we want 4 years of empty shells show to be empty shells Kamala? It's time to stand up for our rights. It's time for us to get tough and defend what represents this country. You know, one thing my grandma told me when I was a kid, she said, you know, before she died, she says, I'm so sick of everybody just being mamby-pamby and not saying what they mean anymore. Hope you enjoy listening. If you like what you hear, please subscribe, become a part of the James A. Hendrick School Leadership Classroom. Until next time, keep up your faith. I want you to please do your best to keep up your hope. I say this every time I need self-soothe. Jesus saves and I'm okay. So I want you to put this down in your very soul right now. Jesus saves and we're all going to be okay. Take care and be proactively informed. Remember this, from the bottom of our hearts, we really, really love you. God bless y'all, and please have a blessed day, and God bless America.